Hey guys, this is Joseph of the Oily Travelers. I hope you're doing amazing today. Beautiful September day, 2017, here in the Okanagan, BC, what we love to call home. Um, Today, I want to ask you a very important question. When do you want to retire? And by retire, I mean stop working for somebody else. Take care of yourself. Do whatever it is that makes you happy in life. If you want to volunteer more hours in your week to a homeless shelter, to an SPCA, you want to travel the globe, you want to spend more time with your family, you want to go visit your family that might be in a different country, different continent. What do you want to do when you don't have to answer to anyone else? That is the big question. And that's basically retiring, right? You're financially independent. You do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, however often you want. Do you want to retire at the age of 65 like what society says we should be doing? Do you believe in that? I don't. Because there is what's called the 40-40-40 plan, which means that basically you're going to be working 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life to finish off with about 40% of your income and live off of that for the rest of your days. In 40 years, will that 40% still be enough for you to do whatever you want to do when you're retiring? Probably won't, but that's what the plan is supposed to be called and what it's supposed to mean. Personally, I don't believe in it. That's not for me, because that means if you go to school, you do university for about 20 years of your life, that means between the age of 20, 25 to about 60, 65, you're working 40 hours a week, about 50 weeks of the year. Get 2 weeks of vacation, obviously. Hopefully it doesn't rain during those 2 weeks, because that really would hurt. And then you're doing that for the next 40 years. So when you are at your peak, your healthiest, from your 20s to your 60s, you're supposed to give all that time to somebody else, to somebody's company. What if you switch that around and you actually spend as much time as you could doing whatever it is that makes you happy? Unless your job is what makes you happy, maybe there's a little something to be changed. And I guarantee that everyone who's seeing this video, it's crossed your mind. Do I want to do this for the rest of my life or for the next 40 years? Because another question comes to mind. What would you do if money were no object? You are financially independent. You have as much money as you need. What does your day-to-day look like? You don't have a boss. You don't have a commute. No alarm clock is going off. Nobody's waiting for you. You have no appointments unless you set them yourself. You're not waiting for your paycheck because you have enough money. That's not a problem. And then you get to travel. You get to spend time with your family. What I want, you see that thing right there? That's our rig. We live full time in that. And we travel. We go all over the place. We're chasing the warm weather. We have 2 small children, and a 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl, and we're homeschooling, and I love it. Challenging? Yes, absolutely. But I love it. That's what I want to do. Anytime that I'm working, I'm not with my wife, I'm not with my kids, I'm not in this rig, and I'm not traveling. That's not what I want. What makes me happy is exactly those things that I just mentioned. Because if I go back, I used to work in corporate sales. I did corporate sales for 13 years, and I probably hated 11 of them. Some people might say I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, because it took me that long to realize that I just don't like that world. I don't like that industry. I don't like the mentality of sales. But it took me that long. It is what it is. But basically got to the point where I knew that if I wanted something to change, I had to change it. Because if I don't change anything, then all I'm going to do is go from one sales job to another sales job to another sales job, and I can't break that cycle. So I had to change something. I had to do drastic change. I pretty much sold everything that I owned. Whatever I had left or that I wanted to keep, I put in a trailer. I hitched the trailer to my old 97 Jeep, got on the road, drove from Quebec City to Calgary. Got to Calgary, didn't have a job, didn't have a place to stay. Ended up at the downtown hostel, stayed there for about 2 weeks, and every single day I was in the common room, the common place, getting on the Wi-Fi with my laptop, looking for a job, looking for a place to stay, looking for a way to kickstart my life differently. I didn't want to go back to what I had. I didn't like it. And that eventually led me to finding the job where I am right now. I've been almost 10 years now with one of our major airlines here in Canada. And I love my job. It's a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of amazing people, like-minded people, because travelers are the people who get hired to work in that airline. Gypsy souls, people who think outside the box, because the schedule is very different. It's just not for everyone. But I loved it, and with that, I was able to meet the woman of my dreams. I fell in love with what eventually became my best friend also. I'm very lucky in that sense. The woman who, like, yeah, let's do this. Crazy enough to follow me in this adventure. Like I said, 2 small children. I love it. I love traveling. I love spending time with my family. So I had to take a chance. I had to take that leap of faith. Nobody was going to change this for me. So when you're hearing this video, if you're thinking back to your job, are you happy? Do you want things to change? Would you like things to change? If you keep doing what you're doing right now for the next 5 years, where are you at in 5 years? Are you in the same spot? If that's the case, does that mean something has to change? Or else you're going down the same path, you're going down the same road. If you want things to change, you have to make an effort. Basically, we were involved in essential oils for a long time. We've been with Young Living now for 2 years. Never intended on doing this as a business. We just love our oils. It was a health choice that was very important to us. And then we started looking at the business opportunity, and it became more and more and more interesting because we're developing a business with friends of ours. We're building relationships. It's not about sales. It's about building relationships and finding like-minded people, again, like we did with our airline. And you develop it together. Like, what other business can you start with an initial cost of about $200? You spend about, I don't know, between $100 and $150 a month to keep it going, keep it rolling. Once you get your premium starter kit, that's it. That's your investment. You start sharing that with your friends and showing that to your family, and that's all you need. A little bit of passion, a little bit of grit. Get in there, get out of your comfort zone, be bold. That's all you need. That's your investment. Ask any traditional business owner, and they'll tell you it did not cost them $200 to start their business. It cost them thousands and thousands of dollars. A traditional business owner, everyone gets paid before he does, because you have to pay your employee, you have to pay your lenders, you have to pay your suppliers, you have to pay for your rent if you are renting space. Everybody gets paid before you do. That's a lot of responsibility. If we don't share this month, no big deal. Like, no additional money's coming out of my pocket. But if I do share and people follow our lead and our dream, then our revenue keeps going up, and then people start following along and they start sharing, and our revenue keeps going up and up and up. And it's just building relationships with your friends. I mean, how amazing is that? And the fun thing about essential oils is that it's very recession proof. No matter what anybody says, if you are financially strapped, you need to be healthy. If you are not healthy, you cannot go to your interview. If you are not healthy, you will not give a good first impression. There's nothing that hurts your interview process more than having a box of Kleenex beside you and blowing your nose every 3 minutes. If you can't show up for your interview, well, somebody else will, and somebody else is going to get the job. They're not going to wait for you. So those are important things that you need to consider. Everybody needs to stay healthy. You only have one health. That's it. You don't, you're not at your peak. You're not performing well. And that's important. So please note that whoever sent you this video, please contact them. Take a few minutes out of your day to go have a chit chat with them and ask them what they saw. Why did they decide to follow this lead and go with this business opportunity? What's it going to cost you? Like maybe an hour of your time, like a coffee, a beer, whatever. It's no big deal. But what if it changes your life? What if this business opportunity, you're like, that's for me. That's what I want to do. What if it does change your life? What if it does push you towards that catalyst which will completely change your life and send you to that financial freedom that you've been looking for? Not only financial freedom, time freedom. Do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, however often that you want. What if you could get there? Wouldn't that be awesome? If I sent you this video, or if my wife sent you this video, know that it comes from a place of love. It's not a sales pitch. It's not. It's just we want to share what we've learned up to now. And if it's something for you, good. If it's not, hey, again, no big deal, no harm. It's not because we don't talk to you on a regular basis or every single day that we don't think about you. I think about a lot of my friends, and I hope they're doing well. I hope they're happy. And if I can, again, share something that has made me happy, maybe it's something that will help them down the road, help you down the road. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye now.